Today's thing, be the exception. You're like, man, what this dude talk about now, man? 3:15 in the morning, sitting here with himself playing in the background with his shirt off. Man, what Mike talk about now? I am the healthy version, the equivalent to like a drunk poster or a drunk dollar, man. I just be saying random stuff. Three o'clock in the morning. Be the exception. What I mean by that? What I mean by be the exception. Like become the exception, own that so you can continue moving on with doing what you need to do. And I say that because based off what I saw on social media before I got off of there, or just what you see on the internet in general, like if you search something on ChatGPT, or Claude, because you heard somebody say it, and if it's something that will cause doubt, but you continue to follow through and make it happen, you're the exception. Own that. Share that energy, man, because I hate to get into my old man conspiracy theorist bag, but a lot of these entities and external messages and people you talk to, and when people be like, hey man, they said it ain't possible. And I heard that it ain't never a person. It's something that they saw on TikTok or something like that. They don't want you to do it. They don't. And by I say, yeah, I am older. I am becoming that man. Get off my lawn. At my other condo, it used to be these kids that would come sit right in front of my door when they got out of school, and I would step out of there with a tank top on, like, because if you look at people like that and you got a little bit of muscle on you, they'll get up. They used to call me angry stare guy. I kid you not. In the HOA forum, if people were looking for directions, just if you come early in the morning, there's a parking lot right there. There's usually a guy that's running the stairs. He's bald headed. He'll have his shirt off. Or like if I tell a kid not to lean on my truck, which is I am not wrong for that. Get off my truck. They would be like, angry stare guy said something. And a lot of parents, I was cool with them. So yeah, I'm in my conspiracy theorist bag when I say that's the energy that's being pushed out here. We know it though. If you're already doubting and you're naysaying and you're doing all that stuff when it comes to your goal, that stuff confirms it for you. And then you start sharing it as well. Man, hey, like for example, I had read somewhere that 80 to 98, depending on who you talk to, percent of people that lose the weight gain it back. You can literally just find these articles from schools of medicine that have done research. It very well might be true. Might be true. But I lost 100 pounds in 2008. And I don't plan on getting it back. I'm the exception. I made myself the exception. And honestly, I am much more locked in on my nutrition, my routine when it comes to fitness, my rehab and recovery now than I ever was in 2008. I don't plan on going back to that because I know the difference about how I felt when I was 300 pounds versus now. So ain't nobody, no external message is going to tell me or convince me that that's okay, that I have to fall back in line with what I know that's wrong. I'm the exception. So I practice that when it comes to my finances. And I ain't saying I'm balling, but I'm just saying in general, when it comes to my finances, who I hang around with, everything in general. I even had to become the exception, against who I once was. So normally I post these and they'll be around this time. I'll do a quick little edit. I'll post a video. If nobody noticed yesterday, because I ain't popping like that, it was kind of late. Your boy had a rough morning. I did. Had some stuff happen that just didn't seem right to me. And when that happens, new me figures out what I need to do in order to it won't happen again, right? How can I be better? I work hard at what I've become. Don't be what I was in order to make a situation worse because I'm immature and I react the way people want you to react, even if I think they're wrong, right? Don't be that. So it had to do with just like receiving calls when it comes to our students. Now my system is either one or two things that happen. It don't work because I don't really be getting inbound calls like that, or I'm always available to my students. I call them mic hours, meaning those are the hours that I sleep. So if it's outside of mic hours and I know an answer, I got you. I've answered students before at 2 o'clock in the morning because they might be in Japan, or as my grandmother used to say, Japan. And I'll answer. I remember being that student that was wanting to get ahead of the game in my school, but I got duty, I got this going on, and I get a weird email saying, hey, I can't enroll in class. I want to talk to somebody, but we're inside of working hours. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not in those working hours. How am I gonna find this answer? Next thing you know, my whole weekend is messed up because I got goals. So yeah, my mindset is I will not let business hours stop me from my goals. So if I'm going to be in a position in order to help others, I have that mindset. Now, in employment, that's not always the right way. So I got to sneak and do it. And that's probably stupid for me to say on YouTube. But yeah, I don't think it was the fact that the system might be broken, which might be true. How about my students know that they can reach me? So I said, all right, man. Now, old me would have just been like, hey, man, what y'all blaming me for, man? I'm sitting here immature. Let me think about it. I was working out during the time that I had got the message because it's always early. I'm always, ahead of the game when it comes to that because I'm on West Coast time. They're on East Coast time, or Pacific. They're on East Coast. So I'm always 3 hours ahead. I didn't feel like that. I was on my fourth set of my back workout, working out, adrenaline's going. So that can cause anger, but it didn't because I've been releasing endorphins. Let me think about that. Let me see what I need to do on my end. But I know it's not, me not, being available to my students. I remember at San Diego State, it was a dad that I was going back and forth with about a scholarship at University of San Diego. And I told you before, those scholarships are like $130,000 for a freaking like a bachelor's. And we had recruited his son into, San Diego State University Army ROTC program. All right, he told his son, we're gonna give him a 4-year scholarship. But what happens is once the cadet gets accepted into the school, they start getting invoices. The parents do. So I was talking to this dad. He was like, man, I'm getting this invoice. Are you sure we're going to be able to get this scholarship? Now, I had told him before we went on the holiday break, yeah, but he was freaking out. He hit me up like Christmas Eve and was just like, man, I'm sorry to send you this email, man. I think I'm going to tell my son that we're just going to have to go to a school out here. That way, if he doesn't get the scholarship, my job has for the state school, my job has an incentive to where he might be able to do that. And these schools have ROTC. I said, okay. I said, well, I questioned on Christmas Eve. I said, well, does he want to go to USD? He said, yeah. And I want him to go there. He's a good kid. I think he deserves this. I left it at that. Went to sleep, woke up Christmas morning because I still work out. Depending on what the day is. If Christmas Day falls on Thursday, then it's chest day. It's still Christmas, but I get up early enough to do my workout before the family gets up, which is why I'm glad I have this. And I know that they're on East Coast time, so I'm running the stairs, and it's bothering me that this dude's feeling like this. Let me try to call this dude. I didn't think he was going to pick up, but he did, because if you got my number saved, it'll say recruiting officer's phone. Or whatever you save it as. But that's what I'm assuming it said. He said, hey, Mike, everything good? I said, no, everything good with you? I said, Merry Christmas. I just wanted to let you know he's going to get the scholarship. I'll be sending him some paperwork on the 28th. How about that? He signs the paperwork. Make sure he signs it so we can give him this 4-year. That's how I roll when it comes to my students. I'm that guy. I was never an Army ROTC officer, but once I start working that job, I said, man, this is an awesome opportunity for people that just don't know. I am like that with most things that I do, especially opportunities. So when that happened and it was brought up that I wasn't getting inbound calls, I told the lady that I work under, well, point me in the right direction of who needs to fix the system. If not, cool. I brought my Surface Pro down here. I'll never miss a call if they think that I'm missing them. I'm the exception. I'm not somebody that's just going to fall in line with things that I know that has no bearing on my life. I believe in working hard. And I get it. I understand now. We'd be like, man, these jobs, man, they're killing us. And these people are stressing us out. None of that will impact you as much if your vessel, your mind, your heart is not in check. You know that and I know that. We all know that. It's nothing new. We just got to be able to blame because that's what society tells us we got to do. Right? You go and you working at a job that you hate around coworkers that you can't stand, and then your blood pressure raises. Whose fault is that? Most people will blame the job and the coworkers, and then they will come on social media and they will generalize. And because it is normal for us to take this information and absorb it, and then we push it back out to people. I'm over here the exception. If my blood pressure is raised because of a job, it's something that I'm not doing for me. That's just me though. You ain't got to believe it. So set yourself up to be the exception. Makes for a great story. There's no luck, just hard work. You know, be that example. I always say it, and I'll probably say it every other video. Be somebody that a younger version of you will want to go to for information that you would look up to. If you do that, you'll be fine unless you're a weirdo. Right? Unless you looked up to a weirdo. You looked up to somebody that was stealing people's ideas. Well, I thrive to do that. I want to be a mother effing gangster. No. If you think somebody has an impressive physique and their career aspirations are impressive to you, or their entrepreneurship endeavors are look up to that. Become that. It makes it easier when you're sharing your message. And yeah, some people will have a problem with it. So what? Stay away from them. Most of the stuff that I have, I'm not supposed to have right now because the level of sacrifice and discipline and commitment that I instilled in myself in order to get it. So I'm not supposed to have it. That's why people will have an issue with it. But I know me. And when I was in a bad situation long enough, I knew I was like, man, this ain't it. This ain't what I want to do no more. I don't want to live like this. So I'm going to work my behind off it in order to remove myself from that. At the very least, I know that I did what I said I was going to do. The rest of the stuff that's out there, it ain't up to me. It ain't up to me how people treat me because I'm in good shape. It ain't up to me how people treat me because I have my education in the career field that I work in. That's not on me. That's on them. And unfortunately, some people have not realized that they're the issue that they're projecting. So what? I just kind of keep to myself. And if something doesn't work out, whether it's a job, whether it's a friendship, cool. Because I get up and I bring it every day. And that's not me showing off. That's me just being the exception. Because most things are out here telling you that something's not possible. Why isn't it? Why isn't it possible? Why can't you get unstuck? Why you can't do it? I'm that person. And that's just it. You become the exception. Man, people want you where they are. Even that's if they want that. Some people want to be able to put their thumb on you. They want to be the one in the circle that's doing the most. We know this because that's us. That's some of us want that, right? You want people to believe you. You want people to come to you for guidance. Unfortunately, if you're not checking those boxes in your life, I mean all the boxes. There's a lot of boxes you got to check, and the biggest box is how you carry yourself. If you're not checking them boxes, people might not believe you. You know what I'm saying? So instead of working on that, what do we tend to do? We try to talk people out of doing the very things that we know we want to do because it makes us feel better. I'm only talking because how I used to be. I'm only talking from personal experience. So heck yeah, I had to be the exception based off the life that I had lived. I had created for myself. I was a dang drunk. My money was messed up, had the worst credit score. I had got fat. I had got myself fat. Almost ruined my Navy career. Almost ruined just long term about ever buying a home because of my habits. And because in order for me to justify the way that I was living, I was listening to other people. Right? 98% of people that, lose the weight gain it back. If my belief system is weak, and I'm not calling anybody weak, but I'm talking about me. If my belief system is weak, I will believe that. Because 98% is a large percentage, right? You realize how large a percentage 80 to 98% is, you be like, man, I'm good, but I'm not that good, right? Yeah, you are. You just got to be the exception. People are out here making stuff happen, unfortunately, because the way that the numbers are set up, there are so many people that think things aren't possible, and they think you're lucky for having this. Everybody got hurdles, man. From the poorest of the poor to the richest, the wealthiest people, everybody got hurdles. We just don't know about them because we can't see everything when we in everybody's business on the social web. We don't know what everybody got going on, right? You don't think none of these rich people got haters and family members and these athletes or whatever? We know they do because we'll see a documentary how they went from sugar to poop. I was about to say the S word. Sugar to poop. Sugar to the S word sound better, but they went from sugar to poop. Millions, billions of dollars, and they lost it all. There's a reason that these NBA players tend to go broke. But we'll idolize the fact that they had this going on, not realizing that the life that they have set up for themselves will not align with how they're treating themselves mentally, some cases physically later when they take on the drugs and all this other stuff. Everybody got hurdles. You need to hop over them hurdles and be the exception. That don't mean you're gonna be the richest. That don't mean you're gonna be the most famous. There's tiers now where people will think you're successful based on what you are on social media. Nobody know these lives and stuff like that. That way, when these notable people they leave here for whatever reason, we're surprised because we act like people don't have no problems. They do, but in your life, in your lane, what you're doing right now for you, be the exception. Be willing to do the work. Acknowledge that. Once things get tough, be like, man, I did that. That's easy for me. And a lot of people don't like that. But so what, man? People don't think that I realize, the people that I know, that I realize the message that I put out, right? That, it is impossible to be in good shape at a certain age and you ain't supposed to have this going on. And that I realize it. That's why I share information. My way, and I'll say it all the time, might not be your way. But it's something. It is showing that I'm getting up and I'm willing to do it. And if you don't want to use it, that's fine. Stay stuck. But what is that going to get you if you're waking up every day, 7 days a week? Life ain't fair and I'm stuck. You're not doing anything about it. And then you're seeing people making stuff happen and you're pissing yourself off. You're pissing yourself off because you don't think it's possible. And you got some rare article telling you that that's not possible. None of these people know you. That article isn't written about you. You know you. You know what it is that you're possible for doing because you've done it. You've done it. You established the bad habits. Break them. Start over. Start establishing good habits. You did that. You dug the hole, fill the hole in, make it happen. Be the exception. That's the message for today.